God.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, man, I think we're rocking and rolling. Welcome everybody to the Hangout. I know some people will be chiming in here real soon. Some people are probably just viewing. Craig Corbett with the Lifestyle Entrepreneurs team. Kenneth Francis Jr. He is the man. I'm just kind of the man in the background.
You the man.
But I'm hanging out outside because it feels good out here. And in between this broadcast, I might jump in my pool and come back out because
It's hot. Exactly.
So it's hot. It's hot, man. It's hot in Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah.
But hey, Kenneth, man, if you want to kind of chime in a little bit, guys, right now we're gonna share with you guys kind of what these calls are gonna be about on Sunday night, okay, and what our vision, our goal is, because we want to help everybody out, not just our team. We want to help out the whole GCN team. So I believe that this is going to be great for a lot of people, and so some great training and stuff. So Kenneth, man, I don't know if you want to kind of share a little bit what we're.
Thanks, man. Really excited. About what we're going to be doing collectively. With GCN and just. Man, it's going to be a lot of fun, man, because, there's nothing like playing as a team. It's nothing like it. When you think about it, really think about this. In your lifetime, well, of course, there are individual sports as well, but those individuals that were successful in sports, Tiger Woods, or, individuals that, play a sport where they're pretty much on display, by themselves. They have a coach, they have a mentor, they have a team, a network around them that inspires them and wills them to do what it is that they do as a talent or a skill. So, kind of like what we're developing with GCN, and it just kind of happened, I'm just being honest. This thing is just, pieces are just coming together where, Craig Corbett and Jason Smith, myself, and Mr. Arias, and all these individuals are just kind of coming into the fold, and we're going to have this amazing group of people that all, have a similar philosophy. Number one, we just want massive success. We just really want to win so bad, and with the skills and talents that we all have as individuals, we bring that to the table with people that are better in other areas than ourselves. They're able to mentor us in those areas, whether it's technology, whether it's building a business, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's just just having a blast while some people just don't make the business fun. Maybe we need some people that, hey man, I'm just out here having fun and da-da-da. We need that energy too. We need all kinds of different, because we bring different dynamics. When you bring different dynamics, those things fit like a team, and bring different things to the table that we all can feed off of. And that's really when you have not only success, but you have a lot of fun and you just have a lot of momentum, because everybody's like, oh yeah, this, we're feeding off each other's energy, we're feeding off each other's skill sets, our knowledge, our experience. All these things have to come into play. So these hangouts and these calls are going to be just really, the pinnacle of that. We're going to bring, a few key people together every single week on Sunday nights, whether it's a call or a hangout. I think I kind of like this hangout thing, man. I think we need to roll with it. It is what it is. The internet is crazy right now. Like, everything's online, and if you have some online presence, unlike a call where you're just listening in and kind of doing that, it carries a lot of weight. Then we can publicly announce a lot of things and uplift a lot of people in the public eye, as leaders, as people that are branding themselves and say, hey, join this person. Hey, how did they get in touch with you? Because we want to share in the wealth. We want to share in the success of the total network that we're building. We're not going to be stingy, because we understand. I talked about this on the call the other night. A whole lot of people earning a very little amount, or really not, creating the expectation of where they got to become a multi-gazillionaire or anything like that, but just get free service, make a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000. Those are the types of people that are going to really be the larger number. We know that the 97% of people out there are going to build the foundation of the company, and then there'll be leaders, that say, hey, I want to go create some wealth, some residual income, like Craig, Jason, and myself. We're like, hey, let me go help a lot of people get what they want so I can get what I want. So that's really what we're going to be doing with this call, is doing some training and developing, and mentoring and sharing success. It's going to be a very positive call. And number one, really, the fact that it's on a Sunday is perfect, because Monday morning, life hits. You know, so we gotta embed some things in, you know, a few hours that you can sleep on, you know, let your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, you know, work, you know, dream well, you know, think you're going to bed positive, man, those things make a big difference, you know. It's a really big difference to go to bed refreshed and feeling confident, you know, than going to bed angry and disgruntled about what's not happening and what could be happening and why it's not happening, you know, instead you'll hear some positive things that feed your mind and get you off to a good start for the week. So, you know, that's basically going to be the basis of the call. We just want to make sure that everybody participates, especially those that are really out there, you know, priming the pump, putting the people in front of the information, showing the plan over and over and over, and rolling and rolling and rolling. That's what it is that we want to do, you know, with this GCN Lifestyle Entrepreneurs Hangout. Hopefully, I think we're sticking with the Hangout, but it could be a call occasionally. It just depends on the situation. But I like the Hangout format, man. How about you, Craig? I like the Hangout.
And yeah, dude, it just kind of keep it real, right? So, you know, one thing you guys see a lot about us is, man, is we're not a lot about hype. And I don't think we need to surround our company like that either, right? We want to be about, you know, just being real and being sincere, letting people know what it's really about. Because, you know, you don't want people coming in with hype because, you know, hype dies off. You know, hype, if you're not real, if you're not sincere, then you may not go anywhere in a company, right? I see a lot of people jump from different companies just off a lot of hype. And so, you know, one thing that we encourage you guys, man, I tell you what, in this training, first off, if we got any viewers on here right now that have no idea what GCN is about, give you a really, really quick deal, okay? And this is, I'm going to put it really simple, and I'm going to intrigue you just enough to get a lot more information from whoever brought you to this thing. So what GCN is it gives people the ability to bring in income with their cell phone. Probably one of the best opportunities ever in the world, because if anybody's on this call, and you know we all have this thing, we will turn around in a heartbeat if we don't have our phone on us before we will turn around, you know, and left our wallet at home. We'll turn around for this thing before we will drive legally. We will get this thing. And so that's something to say, right? So if anybody's on this deal and you've been in network marketing before, this is by far, and Kenneth will attest this, I mean, there is no better network marketing company successfully you could get involved in. To me, in my own opinion, if you want the masses to be successful, at least somewhat, do something that every single person can appeal to, and your market is huge, right? You're not talking about just trying to find a few people that might be interested in, you know, a healthy shake or a candle to burn, right? Those things aren't great. You know, they use them. I mean, that's fine. They've got great products. But I'm saying if you want your market to be massive, this is the ticket to go, because you can recruit elementary school kids that – I'm just joking. Elementary school kids have the newest phones out there. I mean, Craig, you get some 30-something-year-olds, and they're jealous of these, like, kids in elementary schools that have the new iPhone 6s, right? So, absolutely. So that being said, if you don't know anything about GCN, I'm telling you, the person that got you on this call, you want to meet with them personally so they can really dig you in to what we're doing, because this is the founding – I mean, this is the foundation. This is where you want to be, to me, in a company. You know, if you've been there before Apple and Amazon and eBay started, you wanted to be here. You wanted to be in that beginning phases, because I tell you what, some people that came out of eBay and Amazon, there's some people that said that'll never work. That is a dumb idea. And then you look where they're at today, right? And so for all the naysayers, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, this is where you want to be. That being said, primarily, like we're saying, a lot of what this call is going to be for training, right? Because we want to build and we want to help people understand. Kenneth has built a phenomenal organization, previous companies, has tons and years of experience. We got Michael Arias that will be, I'm sure, on a call too, had built up network of thousands and thousands of people. Jason Smith, you know what I mean? I've had success in a lot of network marketing companies myself. I believe that we have, and a lot of you maybe that are viewing this, you've had mad success too. So we want you to know, as leaders, we would love to have you on guests on these kind of training calls. I mean, with us, you know, Kenneth is totally down with bringing on some other minds that can help contribute to help everyone. Because we always talk about one team, right? I mean, we want it, whether you're in our, you know, our network or not, that's not what it's about. We truly have a heart to see people succeed, because if everyone's succeeding in the company, I mean, that's huge for us. That's huge for the success of the company, the longevity, the health of us. If only one team's succeeding, I don't think that's ever good for a company. So,
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, I agree, man. You know, as the company goes, we go. As we go, the company goes. So, you gotta have a team mindset. You gotta have a mindset of sharing. Making sure that even if there's a person that's out there that may, because it happens in these businesses. People find things online and they sign up and they don't get any sponsorship, or they don't get any leadership or any guidance. And those people, there's going to be some people like that out there. So you got to have a platform to where everybody can participate, get in, get plugged in, get plugged into the information, the right information, the current information, the things that matter most, what's working in the field, what not to do, where to go to find this information. We just want to make sure that everybody has that platform every single Sunday night and during the week. Craig and Jason are going to be doing, I'm sure I'm going to be joining them on those calls as well, opportunity calls. We're going to have those going on during the week. So we just want to have a system of success to where any person can come in, and like me and Jason were talking earlier, to have that platform to where it's kind of almost turnkey. Hey, you get in, you get started, this is what you do first, plug in. This is what you do second, plug in. This is what you do third, plug in. Got to stay plugged into the system. It's just like a lamp. You unplug a lamp, what happens? The light goes off. You plug it in, you get power. Just keep it very layman terms. You stay plugged in, you get the energy, you get the light within you for the business. You feel confident plugging into other people's stories. You start to develop those relationships with other people. You start telling other people's stories, and before you know it, I mean, your business is on autopilot because you've told the story so many times. Guess what happens? Duplication, then multiplication. People are telling your story, So it's really exciting, man. That's how this business works. This is not some far out chemistry type. This is really simple. It's really simple, but it's simple not to do because it's so simple. A lot of people think those boring little mundane things don't add up to success, but that's the difference, That's the difference, Craig. I mean, think about it. I always relate things to sports because I think everybody can relate to sports. Like, there's no way in the world you're going to be great at free throw shooting in the NBA if you don't shoot 1,000,000 free throws after the game is over, right? So you're going to have to do something over and 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 over. They call it 10,000 hours, right, before you succeed or you reach that potential. So it's going to take some work. And really the work is just really, I wouldn't say boring, but it's something that you have to do because you've been trained a certain way so long, right, and told something so long that another philosophy can't break through. Another mindset can't break through. So in order to break through, you have to start to crack that. Hit it. You got to crack it. You got to crack that subconscious and conscious mind and put other things in there, take other things out to replace them with things that are working, that are beneficial to your success in this type of business. So that's all it is, putting old information out and putting new information in and trying to maintain it. How do you maintain it? You plug in, you plug in, you plug in, you plug in, you get on the webinar, you get on the hangout, you get on the call. You plug in, you plug in, you plug in. You call your mentor, you call your leader, you call your business partner, your sideline, whoever, upline, down. We don't even, there's nobody up or down. We're just saying success team is what I call it. I think a lot of people need to learn that too. You kind of get away from calling people up, down, and downline. This is a success team, right? So anyway, I can go on that topic, but I think that's really critical to let people know that this business is very, very simple, but it's very, very simple not to do it well. It's not hard.
Oh, yeah.
Just think about it. It's not hard.
Yeah.
You work 10 times as hard on your job. Trust me. Driving in traffic, that's hard.
You know what? You know what, man? I think that some people, Kenneth, man, like you said, is they look at their job, right? And you see it's pretty interesting in network marketing, right? People want to get to this great, phenomenal place, right? Everyone has this dream of this amazing residual income, getting more time freedom.
Right.
And then check this out, though. They go work at their job for 40, 50 hours a week, right? And then network marketing, here's where people go wrong. They make one post on their Facebook and they think they just put in 40 hours a week. They go, I don't know why my business isn't growing. I don't know why people aren't just coming to me, knocking down my door and going, I want to join your
best post ever. They should all be crashing my door now for one post.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I'm gonna kill this. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. This one post.
Right. Yeah, they think that way. Right. So here's the deal, man. And I want to kind of help everybody out that's watching this, man. Kenneth, you can give your own take on this. I've been reading a book and it's been rocking my world. It's called Own Your Life, right? I'm sure maybe you've heard of Kenneth. So what they did is this older couple, man, they're 82. They've been in network marketing for 36 years. They have a downline, guys, check this out, of 800,000 plus people, and they have a 95% retention rate. I mean, even for a business, that's retarded to have that kind of a retention rate. So here's the deal is what I want to encourage people in, okay? So put your mind into this, okay? They said, one of the things they said is most people, when they have a conversation, they lead with the product. That's what everybody does, right? They lead with the product. And it's natural, right? We get a lot of us that are salespeople, right? Me and Kenneth can talk. So we may get a situation, here's what we have, right? You lead with the product. Well, I want you guys to understand something and kind of open up your mind to this. First off, if you were to take away, first off, number one, what's the main reason why people jump into network marketing? Let's be honest, okay? The product's great. Product's great, which we have a phenomenal product. That's a plus. That's a bonus because you don't want to have like spoiled milk and you're trying to sell something, right? So, but the product's great. So what I'm trying to get at is that don't lead with the product, okay? Lead with the hope and the opportunity of where do you want to be in life? You know what I mean? Like, do you want to be where you're at for the rest of your life? Do you still live for the weekends? Because I guarantee you want to find some good people. Find out if they live for the weekends. Because if they live for the weekends, that's no way to live, brother. If everyone's living your life to live for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, right? Then that's really not a great life to live because that means the majority of your life you're dreading versus
right.
So what I want to encourage you in is, and what we're going to be teaching and training our team to do is, for example, Kenneth, right? Kenneth's phenomenal. He'll talk to anybody. He's not afraid of anybody. He'll talk to anybody. He's not afraid of no's. He doesn't care, right? That's not the problem. He knows where he's going and he's hungry and he's gonna find people. So the deal is, though, is that think about this, guys. When you present an opportunity to somebody, they automatically are going to watch the way you're presenting to them and think they have to do it the exact same way, right? So here's the problem is we all got different personalities. We all got different ways that we talk. So if they think the only way they can bring people is by communicating the way you did it, here's what I'm learning from too, man, because I'm starting to realize people are trying to do what I'm doing, and they're not just the same personality as me. They don't have the same unction. Maybe they don't read people as well. So our whole plan was how can we create something for people that your average 8 to 5 guy that may be a little more passive, he's a little more quiet, or the girl that's a little more quiet, how can we give them a process that'll allow them to be successful without feeling like they have to talk exactly like I talk or present exactly like I did. So here's what I want to kind of open everybody's minds to is think about this. Like I was meeting with a guy in, I want to give you a coffee story, right? Example. Everybody meets people in a coffee shop. I love coffee shops because I meet people all the time. So I was meeting with this guy, Kenneth, and we just struck up a conversation, random conversation, started talking about life, figured out what this guy did. And I told him, I said, man, what do you want to do? Like, I said, is that your goal, your dream, what you're doing right now? And he goes, well, man, actually, I'd love to get into real estate, like investment. Like, that's my dream. And I asked him, I was like, well, cool, man. I said, well, then here's a perfect question for you. Serious question. What's your vehicle to get you there? How are you going to get there? Do you have the money just to go buy a bunch of properties? He goes, well, gosh, no. And he told me hard money lenders. And I started laughing and I said, dude, I don't think you want to go into the hard money lending. I said, they might cut your legs off, right? If you don't pay something back. So I said, I don't know if you want to go into that kind of realm. I said, but no, reality wise, to be able to create the capital and the money to be able to do it, I said, how are you going to get there? And he goes, man, I really don't know. Like, I guess work as hard as I possibly can, work 60, 70 hours a week. I said, but think about it. Can you get enough money to start that dream? And he goes, no. And so he started asking me what I did. So I'm help people with network marketing, home-based business, be able to bring in extra income. And he goes, well, what do you do? What do you like? What is that company like? What do you do? And I said, well, man, that's not important right now, actually. I said, I want to find out more why you want to get there and how desperately do you want to get there? Because it really matters, right? I said, if you're not an entrepreneur and you don't have drive, you're probably not going to get there. So do you really want to get there? And so we're having this conversation. It was so beautiful as I've learned to present this to someone like that without leading one bit with the product. And this guy is like, dude, can I get your number, man? Can we like maybe hook up again? So I want you guys to understand, I just started the relationship now with this guy. Now he wants to know more about what I do. And now that product's going to come. I'll have that opportunity. So I want to encourage people that even people that you don't even know, besides people, especially people you know. Kenneth, you know this, man. How bad is it you do not want to lead out a conversation with someone you haven't talked to in 5 years or a really good friend, and you send them a Facebook message and go, hey man, how's it going? And they go, good, how are you? I haven't talked to you in a long time. Well, I got a business opportunity for you. I think you should jump on. Don't do that, man, because you will push people away in 2 seconds, okay? Have a conversation with them. Really, be intrigued. I got a great friend, Jeremy Baker, that's over there in Houston. Him and me have been connected. We haven't chatted in a while. I chatted with him about this because I believed he was an entrepreneur and I saw that where he wanted to go. But we had a great conversation before I even left, because the reality was I didn't know if he was ready for something like this. I didn't know if he was I didn't know what he was involved in all the way at that point or at that time. And so I just want to encourage everybody, think about leading not with the product. Think about leading with the conversation that's going to lead to the product, because that will change your life, I'm telling you, with conversations with people, because you're going to realize it's way different. Here's my little girl.
Hey, yeah. It's all about relationships, man. It's all about relationships. There's so much more value when you can have a person respond the way that he did with you. Because, like you said, it had nothing to do with the business. You had him on the hook. I call it fishing, right? You threw a nice, juicy shrimp on the hook, and you threw it out there, and you got a big fish on it, right? Or a small fish. I mean, you haven't reeled him in yet, so you don't know. But he's on the hook, right? He's on the hook, and you're just going to slowly reel him in. And I know this kind of sounds like, oh, that's messed up. But no, mentally, remember, I'm talking just making it very, very easy to understand. Because people, they overthink things and overprocess stuff and they're analytical. And no, forget all that. I'm just trying to show you mentally how I process what I'm doing day to day when I'm building a business. I'm going fishing. I love to fish anyway. I'm down here in Galveston. I grew up fishing, so this is easy for me. Nice, juicy shrimp on the hook, throwing it out there. I'm reeling it in. I get a bite. That's what Craig did. He found someone to connect to. There's the bite, right? He made probably had a couple of things they had in common. He had kids, maybe, I don't know. He made some connections. Oh, college, this and that, Then he started to reel the guy in, asking some key questions, some qualifying questions. Well, what is it that you want? Well, how do you plan to get there? These are things we're going to train on. This stuff is so good because this is the key. Oh my gosh, this is the key to the whole thing. If you can get this stuff down, I'm telling you. So he's reeling them in, he's reeling them down. Craig didn't go any further. He never said anything about GCN. He never said anything about home-based business. Maybe kind of, I'm an entrepreneur, I work from home, but he didn't go into any detail. But the guy is hungry. Now he wants to know what Craig does. Now Craig is going to introduce him to a tool, reeling him in closer. Maybe he does a 3-way with Jason. Maybe he sends him a website. Maybe, it's just we have those types of, those types of options. So, but the key thing is, don't throw your bait out there, get a bite and yank the bait out of the mouth. You see people like that all the time. If you've ever been fishing, people get excited when they see the cork go under. Oh, I got one! And they yank the bait right out of the mouth of the fish. You're too excited. Just get to know the person.
Yeah.
Take your time. Make sure they take the bait. I know it sounds bad, but it's just layman terms here. It's just really easy to understand.
Well,
Craig set the hook when he started asking those qualifying questions. Real easy. Oh, he was on. He's ready now. So just take something that you're familiar with in your life. Whether it's athletics or something. You're gonna have to do that because you're gonna overprocess it and try to bite their head off. You can't do that nowadays because people are getting slammed with ads more than ever now. I mean, they're getting slammed with this business. They're getting the cold call. They're getting a robocall. They're getting some kind of billboard on the freeway when they're driving to work. They're getting on the radio when they want to work. When they get on their lunch break, somebody's talking to them about another bit. People are tired, man, of hearing about the next, this greatest thing. Get to know somebody first, and then fish slowly but surely. And then eventually, you get them in the boat, you'll know how to direct them. Okay, is it just a customer? Are they going to be a big business builder? Do they have a big list? Do they have influence? All these different things. We're going to train on this stuff because this is key. Trust me, it is the key. I'm loving this, Craig.
And let's be honest, right, Kenneth? No one likes to be sold, guys. We see sales every day, all day. Why do people hate commercials? Because they hate being sold, right? So if we ever make people feel like they're being sold, okay, that's what you need to really steer away from. And like we said, we're in the business of, you want to understand, we're not just in the business of qualifying people. We're in the business of disqualifying people. So to kind of make Kenneth, what he said exactly sound like he said, well, this can kind of sound a little bad, but necessarily it sounds good. You got to understand what he's actually doing is when he's talking about that stuff, we're in the business, when he's talking about debate and stuff, we're in the business of disqualifying people because we're trying to find out, first off, if we even want to work with these people. Are they people that we believe are going to either suck the life out of us and be Debbie Downers, you know what I mean? Like the glass is half empty type people. Right. I don't have time for that people on my team because you don't want them because they're going to be blowing your phone up every 5 minutes telling you why something isn't working. You want the people that are the positive side. So to let you guys know why Kenneth's been as successful as he is, right? Here's a successful entrepreneur, and here's the deal why I guarantee you it is because it's not just because everything he put his hands to turned to gold. Here's what was beautiful, though, is that when something didn't work out, guys, he figured out why it wasn't working and figured out something different. So here's what most people do. When something doesn't work and they hit a brick wall, they curl up in the fetal position and go, oh, I tried. It failed. I tried. Well, an entrepreneur gets back up and goes, okay, I couldn't get through the wall. How can I get over the wall? How can I get around it, right? So entrepreneur thinks outside of the box. They go, okay, why was this not working? They don't take something that's not working and just keep doing it because they really, like, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to evaluate why it didn't work. And the deal is that, you know what, maybe the reason it didn't work was not because of you at all. And that's great because then you figured out, okay, well, maybe my process really does work. Maybe it just didn't work with that person because it's not going to work with everybody. We already know that, right? But the same reason is, though, if you keep finding failure after failure after failure after failure, you have to go, okay, let's sit back and let's look at it. Let's evaluate it because maybe I need to tweak something a little bit. Maybe I need to figure out a little different way to communicate it. Maybe when that person asked me what I did or what I was a part of, I just threw up on it, right? I mean, you can really sit back and go, did I throw up on those people? Like, so here's what I encourage people to do. When you're talking with people, make sure that you're either bringing something up or asking a question to them that causes them to talk to you, right? And I encourage you to stop and be quiet, man. Just, it's okay for silence. It sounds retarded, but I actually had a mentor teach me that a while back. I used to hate it when we'd be on a three-way call and he would say something and then be completely quiet and wait for the other person to respond. And I'm like this person that's like, shouldn't we keep talking? And it was so funny because no lie, like this happened to me a while back, like probably 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. He was quiet. He makes a statement because the guy asked a question that we're on a three-way call with. He asked him a question. My mentor answers the question, and then he sits back, he's just quiet. And I'm like, so I start talking. I go, well, whatever, right? And no lie, he texts me while we're talking to him and goes, Craig, shut up.
Right.
Talking. And I was like, but it was quiet. That was weird. That was like an awkward quiet. And what you told me was great. He goes, no, listen. He asked a question and I answered it, and you have to allow that answer to sink in. Because right when I answered that person's going, So he said, silence isn't always a bad thing, which sometimes we view it as a bad thing because those of us that talk a lot like me, yeah, so when you're on a three-way call, I mean, just to encourage people in that, know that entrepreneurs, man, we have to figure out ways around things. Don't be discouraged because, guys, network marketing, here's what I love about it, is that you get some people that jump in, right, and they go, right, Kenneth, I know you've had the people that jumped in. They're like, oh, I got 50 people, man. I already know. I'm going to go blow this thing up. You watch me, and then they go out. They burn out in 1 month, 2 months, and they're like, and then they just wipe off the face of the planet. They almost quit talking to you because they're almost like, I think they were almost embarrassed the fact that they were so convinced they're about to jump out there. But here's the deal, is that, network marketing, you only have to find a certain amount of people, good people, for it to duplicate. You do not have to, and man, if you guys can please wrap your mind around this will literally, if you can pass this on to your team, okay, let them know that, like Kenneth, we talked about last night, was that, guys, if it took you 12 months or 24 months to hit $500 a month in residual income, now I know that's not beautiful to some people's ears because they want to go, man, no way. I'm 15 grand a month in 4 months. Let's just be honest. Even if it took us this long to do it part-time, right, that's beautiful, man. I mean, if you create $1,000 a month in 2 years, there is no job in the world you're going to go to. And I ask people this. I go, hey, the job that you work at right now, you're going in, you're clocking in, clocking out. And I like these questions I ask some people. I go, hey, so every week, every 2 weeks when you get that paycheck, if you have the exact same amount of hours, you went in for 40 hours every single week. Every 2 weeks, I said, does that paycheck ever change? Like, or is it the same? I said, I bet every now and then you open it up hoping maybe you got a bonus. Maybe it changed, right? I said the beauty in network marketing is that thing could change every single month, and it could be for more positive and more positive. The job you're at right now, unless someone just gives you a raise, which may not happen for a year or 2 years, right? I had a buddy that was working for one company. Gosh, he was there for 2 years, and they told me he was going to give him a raise. And dude, he was pumped. He goes, bro, I'm going in the office. They said they're going to give me a raise. Have I been waiting for this? And he goes in, and they gave him a 25 cents an hour raise.
Ooh.
So he's been slaving, right, for I mean, and I'm talking like overtime slaving, not just to get by. He's been trying to make a name for himself. 25 cents he got a raise after 2 years slaving away. And I don't know if you guys can do the math on that, but I was doing the math for him, what that gave him a raise per month. And it was like, oh my gosh, it was minute, right? I mean, he's probably got an extra maybe $30 a month. So now he has to work for another, who knows how many years, to hopefully get another raise. And so, guys, just know, don't. The biggest problem, like I said, is bad mentality, misconception of network marketing. People think they're going to go in there, and I'm not saying people can't get to a great place in 3 or 4 months. Crud, we just showed people last night in 4 months, Kenneth, right, that a very easy, simple duplication process could get you to $65,000 a month or a year in residual income. That's unbelievable, and we may kind of show you guys those again, maybe those stats real quick. But I don't know, Kenneth, if you want to hit anything else on there on that topic. But I just think we need a better view of how to communicate to people, man. We need a better view.
Yeah, it's the thing the stats you showed last night, or the numbers were pretty amazing. And we're going to get into all those. I'm sure there'll be certain nights where we just talk about numbers. We talk about specific structural type, do this, and this, get this income, and do this and do this and do that. All that's going to come because everything's going to get a lot more vivid, a lot more clearer as to what we're really doing. So we got a lot of things moving right now, and this is just kind of setting the table for those calls and those hangouts. I'm guessing we're going to do more hangouts because we can share documentation on here. I think it's just a great platform, man, to use. So. What you were saying was right on point, Craig. I mean,
what do you? Hey, Kenneth, for you, man, what's some great? So, I mean, you built up. For those of you that don't know, man, Kenneth's built up network with his team, right? It's not just Kenneth. I mean, Kenneth doesn't take, and he'll be the first person to tell you doesn't take credit for that. But it takes a great leader to help bring on other leaders that bring on other leaders. Well, they were able, him and his whole team were able to bring on thousands and thousands of people within their network, which is beautiful thing. And it all started with Kent just bringing on a few of the right people, right? And then they brought on the right people, and then they brought on the right people. But I mean, for you, is there some questions, to even help some people out, some questions maybe that you've had, or maybe a way that you've came into a conversation with somebody that you found maybe that really worked that could kind of help your average person? Because I know this is probably the biggest, hardest thing for everybody. When you take network marketing as a whole, of course, people got to be leaders, but people always ask me the same question over and over again. How do I communicate with people? What do I say? How do I, is there anything?
Oh, gosh.
In that? I know there's
that's a whole nother call. Right? That's what we can spend a whole entire hour on just connecting. But I think, I learned this a while back. Number one, when you're out there prospecting, or when you're, in that mode where you're wanting to get people enrolled into the business, you want to make sure that they're capable, of entering the business. So we call it 5 pointers, right? They're married, they own a home, have kids, they have an income, upwards of $40,000-$50,000 a year, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it sounds, kind of like, you can only talk to certain kind of people, but in all honesty, you want to build a big business, right? So you want people that can come in that are capable of getting started, that are professional, for the most part, and can, guess what, bring on other people just like them. So it's that kind of mentality that you want. But sparking up conversation with people, we call it the form technique. Family, occupation, recreation, money, or the message. So Craig Craig explained it earlier, the form technique. You probably talked with the guy about, where he was from, where was his, how's his family, or where are they from, or, what does he do for a living, occupation. You know, what does he like to do for recreation? Does he like to go fishing? You know, does he like to play basketball? You know, does he like to paint on the weekend? I don't know, whatever, right?
If he
Money.
likes to party, kid, right? If he likes to party all night, that's probably not your best friend.
Yeah, so you start to feel the people out with the form technique, family, occupation, recreation, money, or the message. Now, depending upon the person, the message could be, you know, hey, this is what I do for a living. You know, this is what, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, this is why I do what I do. Now, if the person is money driven, and you'll find out during the family, occupation, recreation kind of scenario, because they'll tell you exactly what you need to know. They'll be like, oh man, this job, you know, I'm not going to retire there. You know, they're not paying me enough. You know, people like to spill, you know, their guts. You know, they like to tell you what's not happening. They like to have a shoulder to cry on. And you start talking about family, occupation, recreation, you're going to get a lot of conversation where they're just, you know, their film, right? What is it? What's in it for me? You know, what's in it for me? You know, they're going to be talking about themselves. So really sparking up a conversation with a person is really simple. Number one, give them a compliment. Hey, I like your hair. Hey, I like your shoes. Hey, nice watch. Hey, you know, hey, nice car. You know, at the gas station, perfect place. You know, I mean, people like to be complimented. That's the easy way to open up a conversation. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Great. You know, hey, beautiful day. You know, hey, you know, I like that coffee too. I mean, I love, you know, I love drinking coffee in the morning. I mean, you just have to just be communicating with, just talk to somebody, smile, give them a compliment, you know, and be thoughtful. You know, think about other people. You know, and you'd be amazed how far you'll get into a conversation. At the end of the conversation, you've got a name, a number. You're probably meeting again for coffee. You're probably meeting, you know, their kids for a play date or whatever. I mean, you have to learn that skill, and it's really not a skill that you learn. We're born with it. We have a mouth, 2 ears, 2 eyes. We're born to communicate, right? So for the most of us that are blessed to be able to speak and see and hear and all that, you know, of course. So, you know, I think that's where it all starts. You know, keeping it very, very simple and being able to open up a conversation with a person starts with a compliment or just a nice smile and a hello. I mean, really, they may start talking you to death. I mean, you just never know, you know, because they want to talk. People want to communicate, man. I mean, we're in that time period now where, you know, people are stuck to their mobile phones. You know, they're just, you know, I mean, when you start waking them up and responding and looking in their eyes and, you know, and laughing and doing those things, they wake up. You know, they get out of their zombie mode, you know, are ready to go. I mean, it's really a powerful thing. So, you know, I think, Craig, that pretty much, for me, that's what's worked for me, is knowing in my head, you know, remembering the form technique, you know, and not necessarily, at some point you just do it naturally, but in the beginning you're like, okay, family, okay. Well, how, you know, you have kids, I have kids, you know, you're walking your way through it, but eventually it just becomes natural.
Yeah.
You just sit down with a person and you can skip F and O, go right to R. Man, what do you do for fun? I'm hearing you talking, you know, bam. I mean, it can go O, it can go from R to F to O to M, it can go from M to F to O, it can be all mixed up. But the bottom line is those are the things that people really hold dear to their heart, you know, the things that they really are out here going to work hard for, going to, you know, they're doing this stuff to death. Some of them. I mean, we all know when you retire, you're pretty much dead or dead broke for most people. You know, it just is what it is, reality. So these things they hold dear, you know, their family, occupation, recreation, and either money or the message, what they really want to do, their why. Like Craig had with the guy, he was like, I dream to do real estate. Well, that was the message. You know, now Craig was like, okay, you know, well, how are you gonna get there? You know, then you bring a qualifying question. So I mean, this is 2 hour training right here. We can go on and on and on. We just go off the top of our heads, Craig. Wait till we actually have a format and we're writing this. I mean, it's going to be great calls, great hangouts. I want to say hangouts because I think this is the best place and the best way to get training across, because we can bring up documentation on the screen. We can have a Q&A going on. I mean, this is going to be fun. It really is. So yeah, I think we're coming down the timeline here for the night, but. Yep. Guys, next Sunday night will be the first official hangout. You know, it'll be a lot more, obviously, you know, in order. You know, we're just kind of going off the top what we want you all to have an understanding about this. It's good. You can invite anybody to it. This isn't going to be for certain leadership or anything like that. This is an organizational, team, company-wide hangout for training purposes. Okay, to uplift people for the new week coming up and give them some tools and knowledge to go into the new week, to go out in the field and do what we do. And that's meet people, make friends.
Heck yeah, man. I mean, if you guys can see, if you look behind Kenneth's head back there, you see a marker board, and you see this guy. So this guy's write stuff out, right? So if I encourage any of you guys, one of the last things I love to encourage you guys in, set goals, because without goals, you have nothing to achieve, right?
Yeah.
A ton of people try to fly by the whim, and they don't put out goals. They don't put out, okay, because I tell you what makes you feel great, guys, it's not just when you find a great prospect, it's when you set a goal and you achieve it. Okay, if you go, my goal is to strike up 3 new conversations with people this week. Okay, so small, maybe it's just 1. Maybe you're real passionate and go, man, that's really hard for me to break out of my comfort zone. Start with 1. Go, I'm going to strike up 1 conversation with somebody in public. I'm going to just test the waters and understand, like Kenneth said, some of you guys, we don't just become pros at stuff naturally. Now, I understand some people have some natural talent, right? But think about Michael Jordan. He got kicked off his 8th grade basketball team because it said he couldn't play basketball. So, I mean, imagine where that guy would have been if he didn't train and practice every single summer to become one of the best basketball player in the world. So, and I do motivational speaking in the public school system, and that's one thing that I do as an issue because I really enjoy it, and I like trying to reach out to young people. But the deal is that, man, when I first got in front of a school, it was not natural. I got people that go, man, Craig, dude, you can talk to anybody. I mean, you get out, you just whatever. And I go, you don't even understand. I was one of the shyest people in school. I, stepped back and I said, when I got in front of people, man, I was shaking. I was scared when I first got up in front of people. But I trained myself, right? And the only way you're going to get better is by training, by doing it, by putting yourself out there. And if you're too afraid to do that, then, it's really hard to think that you're going to be in a place where you have a dream to be. If you don't set those goals, you don't train yourself, and you try to get there. And so I'm encouraged by this call, man. I think that, I hope you guys thinking what Kenneth said, man. It's great stuff, man. This is stuff that people can write down and go, wow. And so hopefully we're going to have a real good written out documents and platforms and stuff too for people. That's not just these moments and these times, but to really give people that need it a real great following line. And I'm not talking like a network marketing cheesy type, whatever, like, talking real tools, real stuff you guys can use to help advance your teams and duplicate, right? Because if stuff isn't duplicating, no one's getting anywhere. So we have to duplicate, okay? It doesn't matter if you brought on 50 people. If it doesn't duplicate, then something's missing. There's a missing piece. So remember that in your head. Everything has to duplicate. So that's finding the right people at the right time. So
right. Good stuff, Craig. Hey. Cool. Experience is the best teacher. That's what I'll leave you all with. Experience is the best teacher. Doesn't matter if they say no. Doesn't matter if they say yes. What matters is that you continue down the process and continue to get better at your craft. And the craft is meeting people, right? Making friends, getting them involved in the business if that's what they want to do, keeping that relationship if that's not what they want to do. Because guess what? Relationships. Seasons change. Some people have something going on in 90 days, and then 90 days later, things are totally different. And because you kept that relationship, they call you out of the blue. How many times does that happen, Craig? Hey, what's going on? Hey, we talked about 6 months ago, and are you still doing that thing? Oh, yes, I am. Not you don't do that, but you're just like in your head, like, yes, I am. Yeah. So relationships, it's crucial, it's key, it's the most important part of what we do, and we want to just make sure that everybody's getting tools and the necessary information to be able to stay in that mindset that this thing is not that hard. It's very hard not to do, right? It's not that hard, right? You can do it, and we're gonna, and every day we all struggle, we all struggle with the voices in our head, you can't do it, oh, you're just gonna quit, oh, we're gonna. That's what Sunday night is gonna be for. It's gonna be to combat those thoughts, that thought process in your head that you're not a winner, that you can't do it. We're gonna smack that stuff down and make sure that we start the week, empowered, inspired, and motivated to go out there and build a big business. If that's what you want, expectations, don't set them too high. Be realistic. There's nothing worse than watching a person that's never had success or that's never, accomplished a certain level of success in this type of business and put their expectations way too high, and then they fall short and they burn themselves out because they can't believe they did, so you just got to keep your expectations at a certain level. And we'll talk about all that stuff because it's definitely needed. Everybody can't be, a Craig Corbin. Everybody can't be, a Jason Smith or Mr. Arias or Kenneth Francis. Kenneth Francis can't be you. We have to have our own individual approach to this thing, and everybody's different. That's why we're on this planet. Everybody's different. We all have a different approach, a different way to do it, different personalities, but we can all work together and make this thing work. So I'm excited, man. So I think this is good for tonight. Let's cap it back off. Start back off Sunday. The real deal. We have some, probably some literature, some things to share with you, maybe some books and all kinds of good stuff. We're gonna be talking during the week, tightening it all up, and I think we're gonna try to keep that hangout maybe either 45 minutes, Craig. Kind of like what we just did just now. That's perfect. 9:47, right?
That's perfect.
About 45 minutes, man. We're in there. Substance, good stuff you can actually use, and we're out of there. And you should have a great start to your week because we embedded some good stuff in before you woke up Monday morning was like, maybe there's something that from the call you're just like, oh, let's go. So that's the whole goal. So thank you, Craig, for having me on, man, and I appreciate you for doing what you do, being a leader and putting things together, documentation, sending things out, making sure everybody's up to date, pushing everybody in the right direction, man. It's going to be a pleasure working with you and having a lot of fun, man. I can't wait.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited, man. So, hey, thanks, guys, for jumping on the call. Tomorrow night, so you guys know, we're actually going to have an opportunity call. It'll be a sizzle call. We'll be putting out the information on that on the GCN page, all that stuff. That call will literally specifically be with, key leader Jason Smith, man. He's going to rock it. I'll probably be speaking a little bit on that call too, but that is where you want to bring people that want to hear. What's that?
I want to host.
Get the host. So the great thing is, guys, is it's about getting people plugged in and understand, guys, an opportunity call. All we're trying to do with an opportunity call is get them to engage you with more information. Like, we want them on the edge of their seat going, please, what? Okay, give me more information. Let's sit right now. That's the whole point, is to build up this mass momentum that makes them want to get. It's not to lay all the, complete dice and information all out there. It's just throwing out, like you said, throwing out the bait, kind of letting it sit there, right? People grab it, and we're gonna try to do that for you, right? And try to create that for you. That and of course we'll have guest speakers that will probably be hosting that call too as well. Okay, we need more leaders in there to be able to step up and go, man, I want to do that because I got a great angle and perspective to take on that opportunity call. So that's gonna be tomorrow night, guys. I encourage you, make tomorrow a goal to say, can I get 2 or 3 people? Can I get one person on tomorrow night's call that needs to hear about what I'm involved in? Okay. And encourage them. Don't, like I said, don't try to sell them to the call. Just tell them, listen, you've got to get on this call because I believe that what I'm involved in right now is going to help us out. Maybe it'll help your family out, help us out to get where we want to get, to have more time freedom with our family. Please, if you can make this call, it's only going to be 15, 20 minutes. I believe that this is something we could really work well together in, and I want to have you with me on that. I believe that you could be a phenomenal leader with me on what we're getting ready to do, what we're getting ready to launch. And so, it'll encourage people on that. Make sure you value them, okay? Make sure they know why you want them on that call, okay? Don't just go, don't blast, opportunity business call, everybody jump on right now, because it just doesn't, it's not sincere, it's not genuine. Reach out to people, maybe actually call them. Hey, man, listen, you got some free time tonight? Because I seriously, personally want you on this call because of this reason, and this reason. Okay, make sure they value that. Okay, and I believe you're going to see a lot more responses from people getting on calls because they understand you value them. You took the time to call them. You didn't put them on an email blast or a Facebook post and tag 20 million people in it and go get on this call, because there's a disconnect there, right? So I encourage you, reach out. You don't have to get 100 people on that call. This business, guys, 5 people and duplicate it 3 more times after that. You know what I mean? To the third or fourth power. You're going to be making probably more than what you're making at your salary at your job at that time. So understand that's all you're looking for. Okay. And so cool, man. And other than that, man, we're done. I hope you guys have a great time with your family tonight. Enjoy them. You got kids, hug them, kiss them, because, man, that's what family's all about. And hopefully, I believe very much so at GCN, we're on a road that's going to give you way more time with your family, way more value time that you don't, like people always say, I love money, but I don't want to work my whole life for it, right? So, let's try to believe this will be a vehicle for you to be able to work a little less, be able to spend more time doing the stuff you want to. So, Kenneth, thanks again, man, a ton, dude, for being on tonight, man. Kenneth, man, he's an animal. So you guys are going to learn a ton. I know this guy's got a wealth of knowledge up here. And so I can't wait for us to tap more into that wealth of knowledge in his head, man. So it's going to be awesome.
Likewise. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Lifestyle Entrepreneurs team, man. GCN. We'll catch you guys later.
All right. Good night.